Yikes! Prince Harry blasted by one of the biggest media companies in the world and called a spoiled brat. Now, this is a new low for the prince. His reputation is at rock bottom. And this entitled and arrogant man who detests accountability and who doesn't want to face the consequences of his actions has finally met his match. He's been called out and he hates it. So Harry is in big trouble. There are devastating rumours about the state of the marriage, with royal insiders claiming that, and I quote, Harry and Meghan are now living separate lives. Harry's finances are a catastrophe, as it's revealed that the inheritance money from his generous relatives has run out. His charities are a complete disaster. His reputation now in the philanthropy space is incredibly toxic, with reports that major sponsors, including the airline giant Boeing, are pulling out of Invictus. No more broadcast deals with Netflix. The Polo TV series has been cancelled, which is absolutely devastating. No follow-up to the book Spare. No podcasts. Harry is in reputational, financial and emotional freefall. And now he's attacked by a mega media giant, one which is part of Rupert Murdoch's global broadcasting empire. This is going to sting. This is going to hurt and damage Harry. Now, it's quite busy out here. Let's get a cup of tea and let me give you the inside story. So here I am in a beautiful English cafe called Greg's. They do great tea and they also do great cakes and great desserts and great lunch. It's a really busy place and I'm in central London and we have to deal with this story about Prince Harry, who is now arguably the most unpopular celebrity on the planet. Yes, there are politicians who aren't popular. In many ways, it's the job of politicians to not be popular and perhaps take difficult decisions. Harry's completely different. He's a famous guy who is universally detested. Name me a Prince Harry fan. Even the establishment media, People magazine, the likes of my very good friend Charlotte Griffiths, who was very pro Harry and Meghan back in the day, forget about it. She is done. So Harry has been branded a spoiled brat after fresh reports suggested that he's unhappy that his children are growing up far away from the wider royal family and missing out on the kind of upbringing that the cousins are having. So you remember the story, we covered it. Harry said, oh yeah, I'm really depressed that, Archie and Lily, they can't be playing with their cousins and go to posh English boarding schools. Well, Harry, I think you'll find that wasn't going to be possible when you attacked the royal family, attacked the United Kingdom and moved to America. It's going to be difficult at that point. So according to a source quoted in the Daily Express, the Duke of Sussex is saddened that Archie and Lily, Archie's 7, Lily's 4, are unable to experience the same close-knit royal environment as George, Charlotte and Louis, who of course are the children of William and Catherine. The insider told the Express Archie and Lily are having a lovely time in California, but Harry is very sad that they're missing out on life with the rest of the family. The source added that the children are also missing the extensive family network that their cousins are enjoying. Well, I'm so sorry, Harry, but you reap what you sow. Now, the claims have sparked a fierce reaction from Sky News Australia. And Sky News Australia is one of the finest media outlets on the planet. The reason why they're so incredibly popular, and the reason why Sky News Australia is massive down under, but also why it's massive globally, is their presenters, their journalists, they speak truth to power. There's no nonsense. Sky News Australia is direct. It is unapologetic. It's authentic. It's not politically correct. And they speak the truth, exactly like the Daily Mail newspaper, exactly like the Sun newspaper in the UK, exactly like the Express. So it's an incredible global brand. I'm delighted to say that I'm a lead commentator on the brilliant Paul Murray show every Sunday on Sky News Australia. So I know that organisation incredibly well. The journalists work very hard to get to the truth. And they've done it again, this time with Danica DiGiorgio, who I've been privileged enough to have broadcasted with in the past. And she's a fearless and articulate journalist. She takes no prisoners. And no doubt now, Danica DiGiorgio is public enemy number one in Montecito, California, where, of course, Harry and Meghan live, right? Harry and Meghan detest these confident, truth-seeking journalists. That's why they couldn't stand Piers Morgan and why Meghan wrote to ITV, a massive TV network in the UK, to get Piers Morgan fired from his breakfast TV show as a host. It was a massive show. It was probably the highlight of his career. He lost his job because Meghan and Harry go after people that pursue the truth. And so Danika's done that. She's on the naughty list now. And she openly mocked Prince Harry and questioned why he had not foreseen the consequences of relocating to California with Meghan Markle. Let me know in the comments, why didn't Harry work out that if he left the United Kingdom, his children would not get schooling in England? How did it not occur to him that if he moves to America, the cousins over in America won't have the same experience as Louis, George, and Charlotte? How did he not compute that? How did he not compute that when he went to America, and once he had sold his story as a royal prince, there would be no other work opportunities? I predicted it. You predicted it. You knew, right? Harry's meal ticket is the royal connections. So he cashed in with the book Spare, and they cashed in with the Harry and Meghan Netflix documentary. And that was it. That was their IP, the intellectual property. That was their value. It's done. They've done their dough, as they say. They've shot their load. Is that a little grown up? That's grown up, isn't it, for a family show? But you know what I'm saying. They've emptied their cannons and they've sold the crown jewels. There is nothing left. There is nothing left of value that Harry and Meghan have. So Harry did not anticipate, unlike you and I and everyone else with half a brain cell, that if they moved to America, it would be a very different kind of family experience. The children would have a different upbringing, and those two grifters would not have a job. Speaking on Sky News Australia, Danica DiGiorgio, who's a lovely person, by the way, she said the following. She said, Prince Harry is reportedly very sad that Archie and Lily are missing out on life with the rest of the family and the extensive network that their cousins are enjoying, whilst his children are not. She then launched a blistering attack on the Duke of Sussex, saying, I don't know what this spoiled brat expects. What did he expect when he uprooted his family and went to live in Montecito and constantly slammed the royal family? I mean, how brilliant is Danica? What a rock star. We live in a world now of Orwellian doublespeak and public relations spin and stunts. And to have someone like Danica just slay in this way, it's deeply refreshing. Because I tried to do my bit. The brilliant Drew Lane, the excellent Dan Wootton. There are so many people out there who are calling out the Sussexes for their wild hypocrisy and stupidity. And it's so great to see one of the biggest broadcasters in Australia doing the same. Spoiled brat. She said, I don't know what this spoiled brat expects. Now, this is a new level. It's a new low for Harry to be called a spoiled brat by an elite level broadcaster and journalist. And it's going to hurt, especially it's going to hurt because it's come from Danica, who is Australian. And where have Harry just had their horrible fake royal tour? They've been down under in what was a public relations hot mess. Selfies with children battling cancer. Hugs with victims of Bondi and then immediately selling the tear-stained clothes online seconds later. Harry attacking his father's parenting skills.
Yeah, well, I hope that my role as a father, is going to be an upgrade on Dad, yeah? An upgrade on Pa.
Well, I don't think it's an upgrade. And the fact that this royal insider has spoken to the Express newspaper and said Harry's depressed because Archie and Lily are not getting an elite level English education and they're not playing with their cousins and there isn't the network of family members to look after them. Well, that's what he chose. That is the path he took. And now, as usual with Harry, a bit like his deranged interview on ITV when he was in Ukraine, dressed as a burglar. What was that all about? It's the same thing.
Oh, I'm like totally frontline serving royal, I'm proper royal. I packed my crown and everything. Yeah.
But that's it. He is a spoiled brat. And Danica has got to the heart of it. I know it's strong language. Let me know in the comments. Do you think it's too harsh?
What makes this situation especially damaging for Harry is that the criticism is no longer coming only from royal traditionalists. For years, Harry positioned himself as the relatable royal, the honest one willing to speak openly about pain, pressure, and mental health. That image protected him from a lot of criticism early on. But lately, that shield appears to be cracking. The problem with public storytelling is simple. Eventually, people start comparing your words to your actions. And when those two things stop matching, audiences turn fast. Critics are now pointing to the contradiction at the center of Harry's public life. He says he wanted privacy, yet continues appearing in documentaries, interviews, memoirs, and media campaigns. He says he wanted freedom, yet still seems deeply connected to royal status and royal recognition. To many viewers, it creates confusion. And confusion is dangerous in public life because once people stop understanding your message, they start rewriting it for you. That's exactly what seems to be happening now.
Spoiled brat. It is strong language. But I think that Danika's angry because she's Australian. And I think they've had to put up with this horrible publicity tour that the couple, Harry and Meghan, indulged in. A tour in which Meghan once again made it all about herself. She goes to a children's hospital, poses for selfies with little children battling cancer, hugs the victims of the worst atrocity on mainland Australia, and then manages somehow to be the victim by saying, I'm the most trolled person in the world. I'm the trolledest, my husband. Very strange people. So is it too strong a language? Spoiled brat? Of course, what this is going to do, Danica is a genius. But what she's done, I'm afraid, unwittingly, is she will have fed the monster of Harry's ego because, like me, she's talking about him, which he loves, because I think he's much more of a narcissist than he pretends to be. Poor old Meghan. We know Meghan's out there. Meghan is all about herself. My husband, I call him H. We know Meghan is the biggest narcissist on the planet. Meghan Markle makes Donald Trump look shy and retiring. Meghan Markle makes Donald Trump look self-effacing and humble. That is how full of herself she is. But Harry's just as bad. And Danica's created a problem because not only is she talking about Harry, as I am, so I'm just as guilty of it, exploding his ego.
I see Mark Dolan's talking about me again. I do hope he doesn't mention that time when I got my butler sacked because one of my hairs was out of place after using a brush. Because I counted, I've got a lot of time on my hands, and I counted a number of hairs that I've got on my head, when I was 15. And there were 57,000 hairs on my head. And one day, one of the hairs, the 56,999th, was just at a 30-degree angle rather than a 20-degree angle. And it was the job of my butler to make sure that they were actually at a 20-degree angle, not a 30-degree angle, my hair when I was 15. Or if they had to be a correct angle of my hair, you see. And unfortunately, the butler got it wrong. And one of the hairs on my head, one of the 30-odd thousand was 10 degrees out, you see. And so I got him fired. And he was called Little Howard, and he's actually the world's smallest butler. He's a tiny little man, quite unusual, actually. He's about 2 inches in height. You can't really see him without an electron microscope.
Oh, hi! I'm wee Howard, the world's smallest butler. Oh, Harry, please don't fire me for making sure or failing to ensure that one of your hairs wasn't at a 30-degree angle or a 20-degree angle. It was 10 degrees out. You got so many hairs on your head, Harry. I'm so sorry. Please don't fire me. I'm the world's smallest, tiniest wee butler. I'm that big. I'm smaller than a cup of tea. I'm the size of an atom, for goodness sake. Don't fire me. I've got kids in college and it's Christmas Eve. So, Harry, she's called it. But what's going to happen, right? Danica now, she is going to be another person that's on the naughty step for Harry and Meghan. And Harry will use Danica's remarks, her fearless remarks on Sky News Australia, to perpetuate his victim narrative. Poor me.
Poor Harry, I'm such a terrible victim. My life is really awful, growing up in castles and everything, and palaces, and never having to pay a bill, yeah? Terrible life. No.
So all she's going to do, and I'm so glad she's made these remarks, but it will feed his narrative that he's the victim, that he's being attacked all the time. Meghan does the same thing. And it's a classic narcissistic maneuver. What these people do is they deflect onto you and they accuse you of doing the thing that they're doing to the world. So they call you a bully. They call you cruel. They call accountability and picking up on their behavior an attack. So Meghan will argue that my remarks about her hugging Bondi victims and selling her clothes minutes later, she'll call that an attack. And that's what narcissists do, because what they do is they have the terrible behavior, all narcissists, horrible behavior. You suffer for that behavior. You have pain. We all have pain because of the behavior of Harry and Meghan. I've got so much PTSD from those two. My husband. So they inflict the suffering with their horrible behavior. Look how they've attacked the royal family. And then what happens is, because you experience pain and suffering from their, I would argue, abusive behavior. I think they abuse everyone. I think they're abusive personality types. But when you react to the abuse, well, then they become the victim, and then they cry, and they're the ones that are hurting. And that's what all controlling people do. It's what cult leaders do. And my goodness, Harry, he's a cult. What a cult. What a massive cult. But that's what they do, is that you react to their behavior, their negative behavior, and then they frame that as an attack on them. Your suffering is an attack on them. That is the very clever dynamic. And then they go into the victimhood and they start crying, and it's poor me. And I'm afraid that's the dynamic we're stuck with these two, which is why in many ways I'm glad that Danica has put her neck on the line and has called out this couple. Now, I've got no doubt that Meghan will be writing a spidery letter to the chief executive and program controller of Sky News Australia, which is one of the biggest and most successful media platforms on the planet. They've got so many viewers around the world. By the way, may I wish you all a very, very happy Monday. And Greg's, what a lovely, beautiful English cafe it is. They've been going since the 1940s. In fact, I believe they opened in I correct myself. I think they opened in 1939 or something, or 1940. So they literally started trading during the Second World War, which is quite brave, isn't it? Imagine. The United Kingdom is at war with Germany. Europe is at war with Germany. The world is at war. The free world is at war with Germany. And you open a cafe. That shows chutzpah, doesn't it? Do you know the expression chutzpah? Chutzpah is a lovely Yiddish expression. It's a Jewish expression for enthusiastic zeal for life. Chutzpah. It's a lovely thing, chutzpah. By the way, we've got so many viewers all over the world. South Africa's huge. Italy, we love. Spain, France, the Netherlands, die Niederlande, Germany, beautiful Germany. Auf die Treppe schnei! The United States, Canada. You know, Canada does not get enough love on this show. I love Canada, beautiful country. And I've got to do a special series of shows in Canada because Canada's massive on the Mark Dolan show. It's a major territory. The really big territories, the mega territories, are United States #1, United Kingdom, Australia, New Zealand, Canada. Mahusive. So I think I've got to go to all those places. I've got to go to Australia and New Zealand. I've got to go to South Africa. I had a lovely experience in South Africa. We'll get on to this really, really important. I've got some massive royal news for you. It's gigantic. But South Africa, Cape Town, Johannesburg, beautiful. We had a crazy thing years ago, which is that we had friends who were getting married one weekend. It was like in June, July. They were getting married one weekend in Johannesburg, right? Now, we're in England, we're in London. And we're a young couple, my wife and I. We don't have a lot of money, so we can't just jump on a plane and attend a wedding in South Africa. It's not practical. So, and I've got 2 children. At that point, the eldest, who I like to call, we changed the names because unlike Harry and Meghan, I care about their privacy. So my eldest, we call him Elton. And Elton was maybe 1.5, 2 years old. So we didn't really have time. We didn't have the money, the resources to go to Australia for a wedding. So we didn't go. It was a particular weekend. Then we get another invitation to South Africa the following weekend for 2 other good friends. So you've got two couples, both of whom lovely friends of ours, getting married in South Africa on the same fortnight. And it's Johannesburg one weekend and Cape Town the following weekend. So do you know what, folks? I'm just going to work a bit harder on my job, do a bit of overtime. We have to go to, how can you not attend 2 weddings, which are 1 week back to back? It's a no-brainer, isn't it? So we went, we had a great time. It was a great thing. So we love South Africa, apart from the baboons that jumped into my car at one point, my hire car, ate bananas. There was one point, we don't have time for this, but there was one point, my life flashed before me because I got out of the car and I turn around and in the car are my newborn son, my relatively brand new wife, and a baboon. Just the three mammals in a car, except me. It's three creatures in the car. A bouncing baby toddler, baby Elton, Mrs. Dolan, and a full-size baboon. Pretty wild. I'll tell you the whole story another time. I did tell you when I was in America, I did it when we were on our road trip. And by the way, we're heading back to the United States in August of this year. We're coming to celebrate 250 years of that great country. So America's a great country, Canada's a great country, South Africa, Spain, Italy. Buongiorno. Auf die Treppe schnei. But Australia's a great country too, and Australia has now bitten back. I think that their horrible fake royal tour to Australia was the low point of the year, and that's going some, because you've had Harry in Ukraine on TV dressed as a burglar. You've had Meghan with the various sort of failed professional projects, including Netflix pulling out of the commercial partnership. But I do think Australia was the worst point. So she goes on to say, Danica De Giorgio continued her criticism by adding, I don't think that Harry realizes how daft he really is. Now, for those that aren't Australian or British, do you know what daft means? It means dummkopf. Auf die Treppe schnei. It means thick. It means stupid. She said the guy is low IQ. He's not the sharpest tool in the shed. Let me know what you think. On a scale of 1 to 10, how bright is Harry? Because it seems that he didn't realize that if he moved to America, his kids would not be educated in England. And he didn't realize that if he went to America, there would be no work once he'd sold his book and royal story. And he didn't seem to realize that marrying a preening narcissist was going to destroy his life. So maybe Harry is stupid, or is he naive, or is he a romantic? Let me know. Speculation surrounding a possible return to Britain for Prince Harry has intensified again in recent weeks. During a visit to Ukraine, Harry told ITV News in a deranged interview that I've heard Buckingham Palace thought was weird. They thought that the interview with ITV News was just weird. Well, he was dressed as a criminal. He was like a homeless man. I don't know what's going on with that guy. Anyhow, he rejected the idea that he was no longer a working royal.
I will always be part of the royal family, yeah. And I'm here working and doing the very best thing that I was born to do, and I enjoy doing it.
There's a pattern emerging here. He wants to come home, and he wants the trappings of being a member of the royal family. He wants the status. That's why he's suing the government for armed royal protection. He wants to be Prince Harry again. What's terrifying for us folks is that Meghan wants to be Princess Meghan again. The Mark Dolan show is the only show in the world that has been very clear that that's what's going on. That Meghan tried to do her own thing. She's been, you know, this feminist icon, right? So empowered. Confessions of a Female Founder, right? She's going to start a business with Lily when she's a teenager. I don't know why she doesn't want to work with Archie. Apparently she wants to start a business with Lily, not poor Archie. Maybe, do you know, I suspect it may be that because Archie has his father's mathematical brain.
So wait, 3 plus 4 is 8, yeah? Wait. 11 minus 5 is 15, yeah?
So, I don't think that poor old Prince Harry is exactly Professor Stephen Hawking. And maybe poor old Archie, maybe Meghan has seen Archie, one of those kids at school. You know, the ones that when they're concentrating, the tongue comes out like this. You know, the kid at school when they're really thinking hard. I'm only kidding. I'm sure that Archie... We've got a golden rule on this show. We're going to be very sweet about Archie and Lily because they are little children that I would argue are a little unfortunate with their parents, but I'm sure that they're great. And we're never going to attack those two. They are children. And that's my golden rule, okay? When they're 18, all bets are off. when Lily is making speeches to the United Nations. Oh, I've come to tell you about our divided world. And by the way, you can purchase these clothes online. They are tear-stained because I've been hugging terror victims and I've been posing for selfies with children battling cancer. You're welcome. My name is Lily. Princess Lily, you're welcome. So when Lily is 18, all bets are off. I'll deal with Lily and Archie in no uncertain terms. But until they're 18, they have a statute of limitation because they are kids. And that is it. You know, and I'm sure you feel the same way. We're not going to go after those two. Okay? We're not going to do that. But when they're 18, all hell will break loose. Because that's what happens when you're grown up. It happened to me, it happened to you. You turn 16, you turn 18, suddenly life gets real. You're in your 20s, you have to make a living. You have to put a roof over your head. You have to feed yourself. You have to do your laundry. By the way, let me know in the comments. I have never used fabric softener. What are your thoughts on that? Fabric softener, yes or no? Let me know in the comments. I don't believe in it. I don't believe in it. I don't see the point. I just don't believe in conditioning my clothes. What I like to do, if you're interested, and thank you for asking, is I like to use a high quality detergent, and one which is not too tough on the fabric. E-Cover is I believe it's a Belgian brand. It's an eco brand. And by the way, we're big in Belgium too. There's a beautiful song called Just Like Belgium, which is by Elton John, who's, in my opinion, the greatest composer of the 20th century. Your homework today is go and have a listen to a lovely song called Just Like Belgium by Elton John. And I really do love Belgium. I've been there many times. It's called Le Plat Pays, which is French for the flat country. And they've got a famous singer called Jacques Brel. That's your homework. You've got two songs. Just Like Belgium by Elton John. Listen to that. You'll find it on YouTube. You'll find it on streaming. And the other song I want you to listen to is Le Plat Pays. It's a L-E and then P-L-A-T and then P-A-Y-S by Jacques Brel, B-R-E-L. Le Plat Pays. Le Plat Pays qui est le mien. Great artist. So there you go. And anyway, what was the relation to that? Yeah, so E-Cover is a very nice brand and they're not too hard. So I don't think you need a conditioner. What I do love though, and I know it's bad for the environment, I like the tumble dryer because I find it makes the clothes fluffy. There you go. I said it. I said it. And this shirt, by the way, gets a lot of comments. Can I tell you, it's my own work. It was a white shirt. I dyed it turquoise. Now, let's crack on because we've got work to do. So there is growing speculation that it's not just Harry, but Meghan, Archie and Lily want to come to the UK for Invictus in 2027. Now, I've heard that Meghan is so worried about their finances, she's thinking of coming this summer for the 1 year countdown. Who has a countdown? Invictus is next year. And by the way, based upon my recent viral video on this show, if you've missed it, you need to see it. It looks like the sponsors are running for the hills because they lost Boeing. And they've got a fraction of the support that Canada had last year. So I'm worried about Invictus for next year. And there's a lot of speculation about where does that money go? Now, I would never discourage someone from donating to Invictus because it's a good cause, but I would like answers about how much of the budget goes on posh flights and nice hotels. I don't know. I'm asking. I have questions. Anyway, it seems that Meghan is so freaked out. And this is interesting, by the way, because we had the former editor of People magazine who revealed that Harry and Meghan have spent all of Harry's inheritance money from Diana and the Queen Mother, and that Meghan is really, really worried about money and that Harry's not. And the ex-editor of the People magazine, that's huge because he was very pro Harry and Meghan back in the day. They have lost so much support. They've lost Elton John and David Furnish. They've lost the Clooneys, the Obamas, Oprah, Gwyneth Paltrow. They never had Donald Trump. I'm not going to deport Harry. He's got enough problems with that wife of his. She's a terrible person. Send her my regards. How's his wife? So, you know, and now the sponsors. I mean, that's the thing, right? Celebrities have backed out. The celebrities are done with Harry and Meghan, especially the Kardashians. But it seems like the corporate world are done with Harry and Meghan as well. Harry doesn't get $1 million for the big speeches anymore. And Boeing have pulled out of Invictus, which is seen as the Harry show. So it's very possible that 2027 could be the final Invictus. I hope not, because I really love the servicemen and servicewomen who are brave heroes. But I worry for the event and the future of it. And why has it been destroyed? Is it because of war heroes who have lost limbs or had PTSD? Is it their fault? Of course it's not their fault. It's Harry and Meghan, who have not just the reverse Midas touch. It's not like just everything they touch turns to mud. It turns to something else of a brown complexion. They're catastrophic. They are toxic. They are a public relations wrecking ball. And everything's a disaster. The TV show, We'd Love Meghan, a hot mess. Sentibale, Harry loses control. African Parks, allegations of corruption and incompetence and waste. Invictus, where's the money going? Why are the sponsors pulling out? Why am I hearing that some of the injured servicemen and women are sick of Harry and Meghan being front and centre of it? With Meghan walking along in her rather revealing white outfit a couple of years ago at Invictus, going, "Look at me swinging my legs around. I'm so able-bodied at the Invictus Games. It's so wonderful to have full working limbs. My husband." There's a theme emerging, but I want to dedicate show to Danica DiGiorgio, who is a hero, a rock star. She's brave, and most importantly, she's right. Let's give Danica some love on this channel. So excited that I've been on air with her. And it is such a thrill working with Paul Worry. So do check out Sky News Australia. Every Sunday I'm on at 9:45 p.m. Australia time. It's owned by Rupert Murdoch. Did you know that? It's very true, actually. I'm Rupert Murdoch. And I own Sky News Australia. I'm the greatest media entrepreneur the world has ever seen. And I'm quite interested in marrying Meghan Markle, actually, because the thing about Harry and Meghan is she's gained everything she needs from Harry strategically, worldwide fame, the royal titles. And she's picked up, a little bit of pedigree from the royal brand. It elevates you. When you're a royal, it elevates you. But what she hasn't got is money. She's got no Australian dollars. So I'm Rupert Murdoch, and what's going to happen is when Meghan and Harry divorce, the Mark Dolan show, it's the first show in the world to place Harry and Meghan on 24/7 Divorce Watch. And I'm Rupert Murdoch, and my prediction that she's going to divorce Harry, and she'll be looking for a billionaire, and she'll be looking for an old billionaire, old and wrinkly is the look she goes for, and I'll be first in line, because I've made a lot of investments in my life, newspapers, television networks, film companies, I'm very successful. And Meghan Markle will be my greatest investment, because she's a robust, I think the share price of Meghan will just go through the roof when I invest. I'm going to pile in billions of Australian dollars. And I'm going to invest in Meghan Markle. No prenup, she can take me to cleaners. Because I'll be honest with you, I'm an older man, you can't take it with you. And I quite like the idea that in my final days, as I shuffle off this mortal coil, I'll leave the billions to the rather exciting and narcissistic young Meghan Markle. "Oh, thank you, Rupert, for the billions. I'm so sorry that you're reaching the final chapter of your life. I don't know what I'm going to do with 25 billion Australian dollars. You're welcome, my husband." I call him Rupert. Folks, it's been so great to chat. Cannot wait for the next show tomorrow. I'm sitting on a massive story. So please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and all of those things. Let me know everything you think. Is Harry spoiled? Is that too harsh a language? Rate his intelligence from 1 to 10. Let me know everything you think. And also let me know about the show, because you own this show. It belongs to you. And we are growing. But let me know what you love. Let me know what you don't love. And let's have that conversation, because I'm here to serve you. Love you loads. With warm best wishes from Greg's, a beautiful English cafe in London. And it's in Canary Wharf, which is a beautiful, lovely dock, got water around us, and it's in central London. It's in the east of central London. It's in East London, it's not central. I'm not a geographer. Canary Wharf, London, it's a beautiful thing. And I'm off now to do the Daily Espresso with my lovely friend JJ Anasiobi. That's a political talk show that I do every Monday on the Daily Express. And that is also on YouTube, Daily Espresso. Folks, been great to chat. Go and have a beautiful day. I cannot wait to see you tomorrow. Big love. Bye for now. Mother, I've brought you some flower sprinkles in the slammer. No thanks, Meghan.